Hello and welcome to Advice Unfiltered with Tony Rodriguez and Christopher David. We found out today size really matters. Polka is the best dance in the bedroom, and kinks and fantasies don't make it awkward.
Weekend, you won. You won the bet.
I won the bet.
You won the bet.
I won the bet.
You did.
I did.
They won the game and burnt the city down.
They burnt the city, right? Who does that? Like who wins a game and then destroys their own city? Like I just don't understand.
There's no. If you don't know Philadelphia, and
I know. I lived in Philadelphia.
Yeah, if you don't out there know Philadelphia, just go on TikTok. Just look at the celebrations, and you'll completely understand.
Well, Philly fans are a totally different, like, whole entity.
Yeah. Well, here's how much my wife tried to buy me tickets to go see the Cowboys play the Eagles. She didn't know any better, and they were about $500 a piece. And she was doing a great thing. She's like, "Is it for Christmas or there?" And I was like, "Great." And she goes, "Hey, I just want to know where you want to sit." I'm like, "Not in the stadium. No way. I don't even want to go."
You're a Cowboys fan, right?
Yes. I'm like,
no, they would hate you. You were getting so picked on, bro.
I would get beat. She would get beat.
Yeah, dude. No, I took my son to a Philadelphia Eagles game once. I got free tickets, and my oldest son, and I didn't know who was playing. I wasn't paying attention. It wasn't a playoff game. I didn't care. And I had a red sweatshirt. It was just a red sweatshirt. That's all it was. It was cold. Freaking. It was, and here they were playing like the Cardinals or some shit. And I like start walking up to the gate. I'm like walking up with my kid, and I'm like, oh, doing the whole dad thing, and feeling good about myself. And and the next thing the guy started yelling at me. "Oh, you freaking! What are you wearing that for?" Blah blah blah. And I looked at my son. I'm like, "Oh man, who's playing?" And he looked at the tickets, and he's like, "The Cardinals." I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, like it's gonna be a rough day.
I'm gonna have a rough night, man. This is gonna be suck,
Well, when your original stadium has a jail in the bottom.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and a court.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know about Philly, right? That's all you need to know is that they had a court system in the stadium.
So now, what do you do for the Super Bowl?
I drove my kid home. My kid lives 5 hours away.
Oh, you did a drive on Sunday.
I did the drive on Sunday. Yeah, so I drove him home, and that was fun. I drove through Philly actually. And I saw 6 cop cars and like 4 of those like I don't know bank-looking SUVs or tanks or whatever you want to call them, dude. Like driving into Philly with like 5 other freaking ambulance-looking police things behind them. I was like, wow, they're getting ready, man. They're getting ready.
Out there greasing the poles up so people don't climb them.
Did you see somebody rip one down anyway? Did you see that? Somebody ripped on a whole freaking road thing. It was like, a bunch of dudes were like, yeah, and I'm like, you're on camera. Ah, they're gonna get you.
They were out there shooting. Then they had the guy who ran everybody over like it was no big deal.
Yeah,
that's Philly.
That's becoming a common thing.
No, I'm so used to doing what you do though because I drive my son back on Sundays for years. So now and this is like the worst thing to say to anyone out there. So you shouldn't do this, but I do it anyways. So I have the phone holder. I have the phone holder that turns sideways so I can watch NFL. I can watch the Red Zone and watch the games because it's always at the time. It's always my pickup drop off is always at a 4, like a 6. And you know how it is. I'm driving from state to state, so I'm leaving at 3:34.
Yep.
So
dude. No, I left at 4:30 on Sunday. I got back at 10. I actually got back early because there was no traffic because everybody was watching the game. Everybody was watching the game. I got back early. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that's the beautiful thing. So my son now is old enough to understand that I love him, but driving him is a pain in the ass. So it's been years of it.
Yeah, no. So I've been doing it for 9 years. 8 years, something like that. And at first I hated it. But then I look at it like this, man. He's stuck in the car with me. Like he has nobody else to talk to. He can't do anything else. So I use this opportunity just to talk to him, and try to interact with them. Because at home, he can just disappear in another room, right? So if we can, I got to chase him down. But in the car, he's stuck. Like, you have to talk to me.
That'll last for a while. So my son now puts the AirPods in.
I know. That's what I'm waiting. That's exactly what's coming next. Because he's already he's like, Dad, I'm on my phone. I'm like, yeah, but I'm right here.
Like,
right
let's.
here.
We can bond right now.
And we can bond, dude. We can talk.
We can talk.
Do math questions.
But now so I just actually booked his. I booked his driving, his permit. So that's coming up. Well, it's exciting because there is people are always like, oh, don't you miss when he was little? I'm like, no. Every year is actually really interesting because the teens were awesome, friends were awesome, watching him date's kind of cool. Now driving, I'm like, oh, this is great. ... You can drive us home. And also, you can drive yourself to Pennsylvania. So, and he knows. I love him. He's my favorite human being in the world. But he knows. But by the way, you know how it was when you first got your license. You wanted to drive
everywhere.
Anyway,
drive everywhere,
buddy. Yeah. Here's gas money.
Go drive.
Go do your thing.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. It's cool when they get older and they get bigger.
Oh, yeah, you've already gone through it, the 25-year-old.
Yeah, my oldest son, yeah. I remember when he turned 13, it was like the last time he, stepped to my house, as before a teenager. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we stayed up all night and we played video games and ate pizza. We were just freaking fat slobs. Just ate candy and pizza and ice cream and played, I forget, I think it was Madden maybe? We just played all night. And then he passed out in the chair like this, and by this time he was like 110 pounds. My son was a big boy, and I was like, oh, he looks uncomfortable. And I went over and I picked him up, and I started carrying to his bed. He wakes up, he goes, Dad, what are you doing? I'm like, shut up. I was like, let me have my moment. I was like, this will probably be the last time I ever pick you up, bro. And it was. And I carried him back to bed and I put him in bed, and I knew at that moment that no longer my little man, dude. He's a big boy. Now he calls me Pops, which is whatever.
I get Papa Rod. I've gotten that since he's been
Papa Rod.
Papa Rod. All the kids know me as Papa Rod. And then he just broke back out. PlayStation. It was random. He was home and he was like, "You want to jump on PlayStation?" And I was like, and you look to your point. You look for these moments where you're like, normally I'd be like, no, but I'm like, no, this is we're gonna bond.
We're gonna bond.
We're gonna bond.
Yeah.
So
I tell people all the time, and when I train people, and they're like, I can't really, my kid doesn't want to hang out with me. I was like, well, it's about your responsibility, right? So you got to figure out what your kid's into and whether you want to do it or not. I don't want to play 5 hours of Minecraft, dude. It's mind numbing. But if my kid wants to play, guess what? I'm playing.
We're playing.
I'm playing, bro. You know what I mean? It's happening. So we sit there and we play.
Yeah, I still think, even now looking back as an adult, and my son goes through this now, we'll be like, hey, we're going to play Top Golf. We're going to do something. And of course, it's why do I have to go? And why am I involved? But then he comes and he has the greatest time. And then he loves it. And then he tells his friends about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, me and my wife are like, oh, this is awesome. And then I'm like, oh, this is going to be a thing. He's going to be excited. And then the next day, like, hey, buddy, you want to go do X? He's like, no.
No, I'm not into it. I know. We did that freaking. So 2 weekends ago, we played Fortnite. I think it was Fortnite. We played Fortnite, right? So we're sitting there playing Fortnite, and he wanted to play because Godzilla was on and King Kong was on.
All the players, yeah.
Yeah. All these new skins. So we got him, and we played. And then this weekend when he was over, I was like, you want to play? He's like, no. I was like, cool. I just spent $50 getting these characters for you, and yeah, you're over it already.
You're like, Dad, that was last week.
I'm not into it. Yeah, I'm just not into it anymore. I'm already over it. You know what I mean?
I'd be afraid to see how much money I spent on Fortnite skins and some of the other games. But, well, the only thing I did appreciate about it for him was he had friends in multiple states. So, especially, living in Pennsylvania at the time and then commuting to New Jersey, and now he lives with me. But the kids would all talk on the headsets.
Oh, yeah?
So, it made his world seem small, where all of his, even though he was not home on the weekend and he was with me, he got to talk to all his friends and hang out and still, so it made me feel like, oh, he's still got a community of people. So it wasn't so bad. So I didn't mind the video games. And then, of course, he became a Pro-Am scooterer, which is like an X Games or...
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I just want to stop for a minute because we're doing a live also here. If you go to TikTok, and everybody thinks I'm not talking to somebody. That's Tony.
I'm right here.
If you actually go to Tony's live, you can kind of see us both.
Yeah, my live is the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Chris's live is just so we can answer the questions. It's easier. So
yeah. So when you guys got questions, I can answer them. I haven't been looking at the screen. I do apologize.
Plus, you get to look at his handsome face, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So we're good. But speaking,
I'm real. I'm real. They're all saying hi, Tony. I'm real. This is really me. I'm a real person. I'm a real boy.
So coming off of last week, obviously a couple of things were really awesome. First of all, it was our first episode We'll be working tomorrow to edit everything and get everything posted out to be able to download. I know people are asking us that. I'd also like to give a huge shout out. We had 5,000 viewers coming in and out of the live, which was awesome last week. But, we put out into the universe that if you weren't able to join us live, you could submit questions. And last week we got a ton of them. This week we had over 300 people submit questions.
300.
300. Yeah.
300 people submitted questions. So I just want to say thank you.
Yeah. So everything, and I had to categorize them. So dating, sex, relationships, and fitness. I broke them down for the podcast.
Wait. Go back and say that again. What are they?
It was dating, sex, relationships, and fitness. And I guess they all
dating, sex, relationship, and fitness.
Yeah, in no particular order.
No. Which one should we do first?
Well, the funny part is most likely you should get fit before you go on a date so you can have sex and be in a relationship.
Wow, you put some thought into that. I like that.
It just came to me.
It just came to you? That was really good. Let's say that again. Say it for everybody at home.
You should work on your fitness so you can start dating, so you can have more sex, so you can be in a relationship longer.
There you go. That's logic at its best right there. That's boy math.
There we go. Yeah, it's
boy math.
Boy math works perfect. So
boy math is good.
And so I guess we'll go in that order because
Yeah, let's do. Well, they already said fitness, so let's go fitness.
All right. So Rachel from Sydney, Australia. You do have a huge Australian following.
I told you I got a huge Australian following. Shout out to Australia. Much love to you guys.
Yeah, Australia coming through big time. Is it better to work out in the morning or night? And by the way, when we ask these questions, Chris is the fitness professional. I am just a guy who lives in the gym since I've been like 12.
Let's be honest. Tony's the one that steals all my workouts.
So I share all gym workouts with everybody.
He steals mine all the time. I look over and I'm like, wait, where'd you get that from?
I steal it. I make a little improvements to it, but I do steal it for sure. That's what you should go to gym. You should steal stuff.
So listen. So somebody, I gotta cut you off here. So it says a physical therapist is going to use that in that order.
Oh, it should be that way.
Yeah. So thank you to physical therapist for that.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that we keep a note of that.
Keep limber, otherwise you're going to get hurt in the bedroom.
Yeah.
All right. So is it a better workout in the morning or night for better results? This question comes in from Sydney, Australia. So Rachel, thank you for submitting the question.
Rachel from Sydney, Australia.
So in your opinion, does it really make a difference?
What?
Does it working out in the morning? You were so excited about Australia.
I was so excited about Australia.
By the way, have you been there?
Australia? No, I would love to go. I really do have a big following.
No, I know.
A huge following in Australia. Yeah, I would love to go, man. Because I love the accent. I love the words they use. I won't use any of them right now because they're inappropriate. But I love the way they talk. If you can, it's just there's something hot about it. I remember the first time I had a crush on a girl. Like when I first saw an adult girl when I was like 13, 14. It was at Disney World. A bunch of Australian ladies were walking in front of me and they were talking. I was like, oh, what is that? I was like, who is that? Oh, there's a hi from down under. What's up, down under?
There it is, down under.
There you go. How you doing, mate? How you doing, mate?
The only thing I know about it is because I had some people, I used to bartend and people used to come in from Australia, that Foster's is shit beer. It is not Australian for beer.
It's the Bud Light of freaking, Australia.
But the number one beer in Australia is Budweiser.
It's Budweiser.
Yeah, it's a Budweiser. Yeah. So, who knew? So if you're going to Australia, don't put another shrimp on the Barbie and don't ask for a Foster's. But is there, I don't think there is. I think it depends on when you can get up or when you can get there makes the most difference. But does it matter? Morning or night?
No, it really doesn't matter. Well, so here's the thing. So it doesn't. All that matters is that you're there, right? So it doesn't matter if you're working out in the morning or at night. It just matters that you're there, right? So whatever fits in your schedule. I tell everybody, man, your workouts depend on your schedule. Like some people want to do like a 4-day split. Back and buys, chest and tries is like traditional. But if you don't have enough time, then you should be doing a full body. If you got like 3 days a week you're working out, then you should do a full body. But it really comes down to, your time. So how are you going to maximize your time? If you can maximize in the morning, then work out in the morning. If you can maximize in the evening, then do it in the evening. I can work out any time of the day. Like I literally, anytime I got a free opportunity, same with you, we work out. This is what we do. Real quick though, I want to say hi to somebody. So this is dude Kai, Kai, Kai right there. What's up,
Kai?
Yeah, this dude's a good dude. If you don't follow him, he's a good guy, man. Really good dude. Got great values. If you don't follow him on TikTok, you should. He also has a deep voice like mine. He also sounds like what's that lion? What's that lion show movie?
Lion
Simba.
King?
Yeah, he sounds like Simba. So yeah, if you don't follow Kai, what's up, bro? Let's say hi to him.
Follow Kai. I don't follow you, but I'll figure it out. Yeah, I don't. I only work out in the morning because it fits a schedule. I'll work out at night. It's not my favorite thing to do. But to your point, pick something you could be consistent with. The only thing I would tell people about it is I think people get too ambitious. So don't try to work out 6 days a week if you don't have 6 days a week. Don't get up at 4:30 in the morning if you can't get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, no, do what you can. Set reasonable goals, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't be like, oh, I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day, knowing that you're not going to get to bed till 11 o'clock at night. Like, don't set reasonable goals.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, Argentina.
Ooh, Argentina.
There we go. Catherine from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
That was right. Wait, do it again. Say it again. Let's get the Latin going.
Catherine from Buenos Aires, Argentina. So she wants to know, in your opinion, do women really need to train differently than men?
What's the question again?
Do women need to train differently than men?
Yes and no. I think it's not really that they have to. They can train just like men if they want to. It just depends again what their goals are, right? Like most women work out trying to build their glutes and their legs. That's just the fact. Just like guys, most guys work out and try to build their shoulders and their arms and their chest. They just want to pop out the guns. So it all depends on what your priorities are, but it really comes down to personal interest. Like what's going to keep you motivated, right? Like for me, for instance, I'm not a big, high rocks person or hydrox, whatever you pronounce it.
When you said that, by the way, it made me think of hydroxycut.
Oh yeah, the hydroxy. Remember that? Remember hydroxycut?
That's why I laughed about it.
Like, used to love that stuff.
No,
the high rocks is high rocks, right? High rocks. That competition, right? So there's a bunch of people at my gym that do that, and they love it. They love it.
What is it?
So it's like CrossFit,
CrossFit,
right? It's like CrossFit is what it's like. It's like CrossFit on steroids. Like everybody's all jacked, everybody's doing stuff with kettlebells. It's all timed, but it's a hard workout. Now, I see women doing it just as much as men, and they're in phenomenal shape. So again, it really just comes down to you and what motivates you. That doesn't motivate me. So I don't do that.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is I find that most women, not most, that's I know it's true. I think most women are afraid to lift weights.
Yeah, well, that's so. All right, so let's talk about the actual, the what do you call it? The fallacy of it all.
Yeah.
So there's this big myth that if women work out like men, they're going to get big and bulky. I work out like a man, and I'm not big and bulky. So I'm just saying. So you can work out just like a man does. You're not going to get big and bulky. Those women that you see that are in those competitions that are all jacked and their arms are huge and they're on stuff. Like, if they tell you they're not, they're lying to you. They're on stuff, man. Same with the bodybuilders. Like they are. Like it's so prevalent. I was just talking to an 18-year-old kid about it tonight. At school, all his friends, now these kids are in high school, all doing steroids. All of them. It's so prevalent right now.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, and they get it so easily. Like, they can get it like that. You know what I mean? And he asked me what I thought about it if I ever did it. And I said, no. I said, I didn't take anything, man, when I was your age at all. And freaking even now, I'm on a small dose of test, and that's it. But I'm not pumping my body full of crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, listen, man, the dangers of you guys, especially at that age, at 18, your body's not even done maturing at all. And not even close. I mean, the strongest bone density for a man and muscle density is 32 to 37. So as you're still maturing through your whole 20s, and for you to mess that up chemically, by the time you're my age, you're gonna be in a lot of pain, a lot of trouble. Joints are gonna hurt. Your whole system's gonna be messed up. 9 times out of 10, when I see people start that young, they end up getting really heavy, like really fat as they get older, because their body can't retain anything. It just yeah. So don't do it.
My son asked me because I'm in the gym all the time, and I just told him, I was like, "Look, first of all, no woman at that age, his age range, cares how much you lift. So you might as well just get that out of your head."
Well, that's the biggest thing. So here's the problem, right? So is that there's this thing that, especially boys, for men, that we have to lift heavy to show what kind of man we are, right? And if they're doing stuff to enhance their body and making it move heavier weight than their body's actually matured to do. Torn pec, torn shoulder, torn bicep, joints out of whack, freaking. There's just a whole bunch of things that shouldn't happen. Do it yourself. Do it without anything. Just work out hard. Literally, being in shape is just being consistent. Discipline. That's it.
I just tell my son, you're going to die. You don't want to die early and give up all these good years. I joke with him all the time. I'm like, you could do that and be jacked and broke. Yeah. And then when you get older, you look fat, ugly, and you're going to die old.
Yeah.
Or
have heart problems.
Yeah.
I know people do that that have done it, in early 20s and early 30s when I was younger, and they've all had heart attacks, and they're a couple years younger than me, and they've all had heart attacks, every single one of them, because they were just pumping it, man. They were just, But yeah, when you're young, don't do anything. Just work out, man.
Yeah. Or Brazil. We're gonna stay in South America.
I'm going to Brazil.
There we go. Daniel from Rio.
Going around the world.
There you go.
Yeah.
Daniel from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, wants to know, in your opinion, how important is sleep for muscle growth and fat
It's
loss?
extremely important.
It's the most important thing
so
that everybody
important.
screws up to me.
Yes. Yeah. So when you don't sleep and you are up and you're full of anxiety, your cortisol levels go up and you store fat. So sleep's important. Like, listen, what you're doing at the gym is you're breaking down muscle tissue, right? That's what you're doing. You're making your body conform under stress. Well, with anything else, man, to heal, you have to eat and you have to sleep. Your body sleeps for one reason and one reason only, to repair itself. So if you don't get the proper sleep you need, then you're not going to get the proper growth that you need. Those muscles aren't going to have time to heal. So a good 6 to 8 hours is always nice. I know us as adults doesn't really happen. Like, it's far and few between. But if you're serious about your muscle growth, man, recovery is huge, and sleep is a huge component of all that.
Yeah. People don't realize how important it is.
No, it's extremely important.
And then we'll wrap it. It was really funny because it came across on my live, and I just saw it, and we were going to go past it, but I'll bring it up because it was something a person did ask. Javier from Madrid, Spain. Shout out. All these countries were amazing when I got these questions. And someone else wrote it on here. They said, someone else on the live I just saw said, I wish I started working out 40 years ago. I mean, you can't do anything about it now, but at least you start working out now, and your life is just going to be that much better.
Late. It's never too late. I trained a guy that's 66 years old, and he had a motorcycle accident. Body was destroyed, and he's in the best shape of his life right now. And I'll tell you, he's 66 and he's in phenomenal shape. Guy goes, he's out there living life, man. Goes to Florida all the time. Goes to he's just out there doing his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that question was, could you build muscle after 40, or is it too late? Obviously, it's just never too late.
No. The only thing about building muscle after 40 is it's a little harder, right?
It's tough.
It's tough, right? So, but you can do it. It's just going to take a little more work, But don't let that discourage you. Definitely take the time to do it.
All right. Well, look, now we're in shape, right? I feel like we're fit, so we should probably.
I don't know. Somebody asked me a question here. It says, "What about women? Me don't go through menopause. What your answer for that?" I don't know if that was. I thought that was. I don't understand your question. Can you ask that again? Ask that again.
Maybe it'll come right through.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be freaking something good. Freaking, I couldn't understand what she was saying. Anyway, go ahead.
All right.
Next question.
So, all right. So this one's actually really good. By the way, so this goes shout out to, let's see. Is it Jana? Jana says, hey, Chris and Tony, I follow you both on TikTok and was on the live stream last time. I think she's actually here again.
Who is this?
Her name is Jana.
Gina?
She says, I'm going through a
Hi, Gina.
divorce, and I'm happy because both of you provide a little positivity to help things lighter and keep going for me. By the way, I know this is going to sound crazy to say. There's no such thing as nobody ever feels bad about divorce is always a good thing. And what I mean by this is
Did you just say divorce is always a good thing?
Always a good thing.
Always a good
and
thing.
here's why. No one ever goes, oh, I heard, divorce, it's so sad. No, it's not sad. You know what it is? It's hard and it sucks for a minute, but you're getting out of the relationship you shouldn't be in. Right? And that so I'm just saying, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not hard and there's not tears, but I mean, at the end of the day, divorce is forever. Marriage sometimes is not. So if you're with the wrong person, you probably shouldn't be.
Well, here's the thing, right? So I don't know. See, it's a different time and age, right? So we all compare ourselves to our grandparents.
When they never got divorced.
They never got divorced, right? So, but you have to also remember that they didn't get divorced because that was taboo, right? And like, I don't know, my grandparents, except my mom's side, they loved each other dearly because they went through, depression, they went through freaking, polio, all that good stuff, and they were forced to stay together, But when they even now, my nanny's like 97, I think, 97. She's like has dementia really bad, and she still remembers my pop who died like 20 years ago. She'll come out of nowhere and she'd be like, "Where's Art?" If you can ask where he's at. So I don't know. So it's one of those things that's hard to say. Like if divorce wasn't acceptable, if it wasn't like a trend, would it work out in the end anyway? Because you went through the bullshit. Would you be happy?
I think I think your point highlights this. Back in the day, when you didn't have social media and you didn't have DMs and you didn't have all these things. And I mean this in a really positive way. You were forced to go through the shit, which all ultimately made your relationship better.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, look, you could be married with the greatest person, and there's a lot of honeymoon time and all that stuff is great. But you really want to be married to somebody who's going to stick by you when things go south. Yeah. And when things get hard, that's when your partner really counts. So I think back in the day, that's what you had. So yeah, why would you ever get? You went to your point, depression, polio, world wars. Like, why would you be going anywhere, right?
It's the same thing as building a team, right? So, like, anybody that's like in the army or played a real like rugby or played a team sport, your team gets stronger the more battles you go through, right? When you go through a couple losses and everything else, then that's when you guys come back and you start like working harder on each other, So I guess it all depends. Like, it all depends. It's one of those things, man, that like where you're at in your life. Where do you want to be?
I think people give up too easy.
Oh, I agree. 100%. People give up too easy.
So, and by the way, that might not be your situation, which is fine. But she did ask this, what I thought was really cute. Did you see this in New Jersey in the news with the little old guy, Doug, who went around his neighborhood and hand wrote invitations? He's 85 years old. And he hand wrote invitations to his own party. And he went and hand delivered them to all his neighbors and threw a party for people to come hang out with him and meet him.
No, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's one of the coolest stories. If you haven't seen it, look up Doug Neighborhood Party.
Somebody just wrote Doug.
Oh,
yes, Party Friday. Oh, people know what you're talking about, bro.
Oh, it's fantastic.
People know what you're talking about.
There's a clip of him and he's walking up and he hands this little young, probably teenage kid a little handwritten note, and he invited everyone to his cul-de-sac neighborhood party. Oh, it was great.
Oh, shout out to Doug.
Yeah,
was it his actual birthday?
I don't know what it was for, but yeah, I think let's see, he was 85 years old. Oh, he was just wanted to have a winter party.
Oh, they said at 4 p.m. the cops showed up. Of course they did.
Of course they did.
Of course they did.
I hope
nobody likes that fun. There's fun police.
Oh, all right. So you're on a date. You're on a date there, Mr. Christopher David.
I'm on a date.
Is it a red flag if someone is still close with their ex? Brian from Toronto, Canada.
Is it a red flag if they're so close with their ex?
This is a tough one for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's a red flag at all. I think if you really care about somebody and you break up on a mature level, and just realize that you want to, I think you could possibly always be friends. Now is it going to be, there's just also boundaries with that when you start dating somebody else. I'm not calling and complaining to you. You know what I mean? I'm not calling you in the phone and be like, oh, this girl's treating me so bad. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. And I'm not. But I think it's all right to check in. I'd be like, hey, how you doing? If you can, how's your life going? Or, I don't know. I guess it depends on the person you're dating too, right? If the person you're dating has a hard time with it, just be honest about it. Like, if you don't like it, if that person really cares, they should understand that that they're going to respect your boundaries, I guess.
It's tough because I, in all honesty, I am friends with. I don't say not friends, but I generally cut ties only because I don't, I keep my world small anyways. But when I started dating my wife, I remember there was a couple of exes who were just friends and ended on really good notes and were just, fine until I had to step in one time. And then I just cut it all off because, it just, one of the friends decided one time, I thought it was funny and shot a text that said, hey, I just heard PYT Michael Jackson on the radio and it reminded me of you. And I was like, oh, that's nice. So I just picked up the phone and called him. And I was like, well, your friendship has ended here.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Just because he said that, huh?
Well, look, let's be honest. I think here's the deal. I think here's probably the better way I look at it. Have I met you? So if I'm dating somebody and they're friends with their ex, that's fine. I think it's great to continue those relationships. It doesn't mean that the breakup had to be bad. But if you're friends with that person, there's no reason I shouldn't meet that person at some point.
No, I agree. No, listen, if you're friends with somebody, if we can, then you should be comfortable introducing them to me.
100%. That's where I live it. If I've met you and I get to know you and I can see the boundary, that's great.
Yeah.
But if you're just friends with people I've never met and they just keep contact to check in on you, I don't know. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, no, I guess like
I'm being honest. I could just give you the generic answer, be like, you should be friends with anybody you want.
No, I'm not saying that.
Just being honest.
Yeah, no, I would say you can be friends with anybody you want. Of course, there's boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely like a thing going on.
It's just,
Yeah.
I don't want that meme I've seen that says it has the in case a relationship goes down, break glass. It's your ex's thing in a jar. I'll just leave it that way so we don't get kicked off anything.
Yeah, I don't say that thing in a jar. Just go through their phone and make sure they don't have any pictures. You're good.
So Chloe from Dublin, Ireland must have watched our first episode.
Dublin, Ireland? Right on.
She's asked, how soon is too soon to say I love you in a relationship? which probably, if you've seen the last episode, it's not after the first time we get something to eat. So it's not allowed.
But I love you.
But I love you.
But I love you.
Do you know how I know? So is there such thing as too soon to say I love you in a relationship?
I think if you're in tune with somebody, you know when the right time is, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You usually know when the right time is. Like, I think if you're in tune with somebody, because when you're really connected to somebody, like on a real level, you know what I mean? You know when the right time is to say it. Now, this is the second mistake in here. Sometimes people confuse lust with love. You know what I mean? Freaking, and they're like, because the sex is amazing and they look great naked and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, man, I love you. But you don't. You really don't. You're just in love with the adrenaline rush, the endorphin high of that whole moment, which is easy to do. It's easy to confuse the two, right? Do you believe in love at first sight? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, I think that's a thin line between lust and love. Like, I think you can, it's thin. Like, you have to be really in tune with what's what.
Like I said, I would tell you that I fell in love with my wife when I first met her, but there was circumstance to that. When I finally first met her in person, my initial thing was, okay, do you really look like your pictures and are you a real person? That's most people now.
Did you take her to a water park?
So I met her at a house party, but I think we talked about this last time. I saw her interacting with kids. I saw her interacting with people. There was more context to it, but to your point, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying it too soon, but I think to your point, are you saying it because you're lusting after the person, or is it really because you know them as a person, right?
Yeah. So, I think it's very, you can get very jaded very quick depending how fast you sleep with that person.
Yes. And by the way, if someone tells it to you too soon, that doesn't mean you have to say it back. Don't complicate things.
So Laura Varney Goodfry, how long have you been married? I'm assuming she's talking to you because I'm not married.
So I've been with my wife since 2013 and was married the year after. So our 10-year anniversary is actually this year. So and I would say this honestly, going into this relationship, I still had a lot of shit to learn and was not great. But in this relationship, I can honestly say, I'm ridiculously happy. Everything, I wouldn't tell you everything is always perfect, but I definitely feel like I got a partner in crime. We have a great time. She's awesome. She's the one that really, at the end of the day, wanted me to do something like this and get out there.
Yeah.
And she's like, get out there. You need to be out in the universe. So, it's like
podcast wasn't her first idea though.
No, it was not her. For anyone who doesn't know, my wife originally wanted me to be on OnlyFans. So maybe an OnlyFans page will come out of this one day. I can't say it won't, but but in all seriousness, that's the kind of relationship I have where my wife is very much understanding how loyal I am. She trusts me to no degree, and because I have that in a relationship, it was really funny when she woke up and she's like, if anyone's never seen the Hulu documentary on the girl from Sopranos who went on OnlyFans and paid her mortgage off in a month. I woke up to my wife staring at me at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I thought I did something wrong. And I was like, what did I do? And she said she couldn't sleep. She was watching TV downstairs, and she goes, do you know what OnlyFans is? And I honestly thought she was asking me because, like, I don't know. I've never been on there and I don't even know what it was. And she goes, I think you need to go on there. We need to start making money with you. So a lot of times you see the fitness pictures and stuff is because there was a small part for like a hot second. It had crossed my mind. But thank God I ran into Chris. Thank God I ran to you. This was a better option.
I think when OnlyFans came out, it ran into everybody's mind, especially when they saw the money they were making. They're like, damn.
Wow.
So Sunfly Sun said, who is the partner on the podcast? He looks super familiar. She saw your OnlyFans.
You might have saw my beginning of my OnlyFans. I have no idea. So
that right there is Tony Rodriguez.
Yeah. Well, if you know Chris, you might see me at the same gym with him all the time. But if not, maybe because we share each other's stories. But nice to meet you wherever you're from. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one.
That's a good question. Let's ask it.
Ooh, another Argentina in the house today.
Argentina's in the house.
What's the best way to handle being ghosted? Should I call them out or just move on?
Just be thankful. Like, they just saved you a whole lot of headache, man. Like, peace, I'm out. If they ghosted you, man, then that just means you need to move on. Find somebody else. And you probably dodged a bullet. They probably had so many freaking red flags, insecurity issues, the whole nine. Screw them. Find somebody else.
Yeah.
There's like 7 billion people or 7 million? I don't know. There's a lot of people in the world, man.
I only know this because I'm finishing up this is way too much, an artificial intelligence college course I'm taking, and the question today was how many people are there in the world, and it's 8.9 billion, just so you know. So anyone who really needed a stupid random fact of the day. Fucking
Argentinian people everywhere, like, woohoo, Argentina in the house. Check that out.
Yeah, it's awesome. But look, at the end of the day, you should, to your point, if it hurts your ego a little bit, but let's be honest, everybody gets ghosted. It just saves you time. If somebody's really into you, they're not going to ghost you.
Yeah, no, don't waste your time, man. Don't even give them a second thought. Don't let them have any rent space in your head.
That's always the best. Do not let them rent space in your head.
Don't let them rent space in your head, man. If you can move on.
No, so.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. It was another brand new one for us. Sophia from Cape Town, South Africa.
This is dating, right?
This is still dating.
We're still dating.
We're taking it slow. We didn't sleep on the first date together. We almost got ghosted. We were checking through red flags.
And when he says we, he's not talking about me and him. Just want to clarify that.
Just clarify. We is the general audience of what we're doing.
Yes.
So Sophia in Cape Town, South Africa. Do you think dating apps make it harder to find real connections? I think I asked you this one time. Do you use dating apps?
No, I told you no. We talked about it last time.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was fake. Everybody thought.
Oh, that's right. They're like,
I was on it for like 2 weeks, and nobody swiped for me at all. Like nobody on Bumble, nobody on Tinder. They were just like, who? This guy? No, screw this guy. Yeah, whatever. No, I think I don't know. I don't know about dating apps. To be honest with you, freaking, I didn't have a good experience. But yeah, I know people that love them. People love them. I think it's easier to meet people. But seriously, like. All right, here's my thing, right? If they're not going to put enough time and effort to go out and meet somebody, and they're just going to use an app, then how much time and effort are they really going to put into making the relationship work, right? I think it's easy, right? They're already picking something easy to do. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy to meet people outside anymore either. It's people aren't, especially where we live, people aren't very nice. They'd rather look at the ground.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what to do, I'll be honest with you, because even for somebody like you, I wouldn't I'm sure people, if I was single, the most people I see in a day is at the gym, and I wouldn't want to hit on anybody at the gym because then it would ruin my gym time.
Yes.
And then I don't know where I would meet people.
You don't shit where you eat. Yes.
But I would say I actually, years ago, when Match.com was a thing, which I'm sure is probably not now, I would just say,
I think I'm pretty sure Match.com is still a thing.
I had really good success with it, but I mean it from this standpoint.
You had 1,500 messages the first night.
It's just, it was a good run for a while.
I got nobody. And this guy's got 1,500 messages.
But the funny thing was, what I wound up doing, which I think really made a difference, and this goes back to real connections, is I actually changed my profile to I don't want to do, not because of the first one, I don't want to do dinner. How about this? Let's just do dinner. And I just said this honestly.
This has nothing to do with Mount Pleasant.
I was like, look, I'm brand new to the area. I said, here's how I look at it. I'd just like to meet some people. So I'd love to go out to the bar, get you a drink at happy hour, just meet. If we hit it off, I'm fine with going out and getting dinner and hanging out for the night, or maybe go and do something. But how about we just meet as friends and just see if we have anything in common? And I'll be honest with you, I actually met a lot of really cool people and friend circles that way, where it wasn't the pressure of going on a date. And I actually found like I made real connections with not just dating people, but also friends. So I think I just took the pressure off the dating app of being like, hey, I'm going out with you because I have to find a date, versus being like, hey, you know what? I just want to meet somebody and let's just see. And if it doesn't work, it cost me an hour and a drink and I got out of the house. So,
yeah.
I mean,
no, I get it. No, I mean, it's good for a social hour, I guess.
Yeah.
As Lady just said, no, as a bartender, don't meet people in the bar. No, I know.
No, I don't want to meet anyone at the bar.
I used to bartend too. That's how I got married and divorced. Yeah. So lesson learned. This is another reason I don't drink anymore either. Yeah, no.
Nice
question.
This is a really interesting one. Liam, Auckland, you probably got some issues.
Liam.
We hopefully can help you. New Zealand. Also, I heard one of the most beautiful places in the world, so shout out to anyone from New Zealand.
Yeah. So Liam's from New Zealand?
Liam is from Auckland, New Zealand.
Auckland, New Zealand. Listen, go Blackhearts. Rugby.
Oh, yeah.
Go Blackhearts, New Zealand. Got you.
What is the best way to flirt without being creepy?
Without being creepy? You walk up with the biggest, dumbest smile on your face.
I have a feeling.
I don't know.
I have a feeling Liam, someone might have told him this.
What?
Someone might have mentioned this, and I was like,
That he's
"Hey,
being creepy?
you're being creepy."
You're being creepy. All right. So listen, the best thing to do is talk to him like this is what it is. You got to talk to him like they're a guy. Like talk to him like you're like so your best friend already. Like there's some dude. Don't compliment them. Don't be like, oh my god, you're so hot.
You're the most beautiful person in the world.
Your eyes, if we get man, you just gotta walk up and be like, be you and be like, hey, how you doing? How's the night going? You enjoying yourself? What are you drinking? Just like simple questions. Ask them about themselves. Don't come up like, hey, how you doing, baby? You know what I mean? Like, don't do that shit. Like,
that doesn't work anymore?
No. And I'll be honest with you, man. I'll be honest with you. Women are so used to getting hit on. The more you act like they're just a normal person. They're not like, something you're trying to conquer.
Yeah.
Like, act like you're just a normal person, man. Like, it's like you're hanging out with your best bro. And talk to them like that. I mean, there's another Argentina. Hi, Argentina. God, we got a lot of people in Argentina.
I told you I got a lot of questions. I'll be honest with you, it's just so strange because I don't even know. I don't know how to flirt without not being like in a creepy way, but I don't know. Like, I wouldn't even know where to start.
With a flirt?
Yeah. Without knowing you, if like a complete stranger somewhere outside of like giving them that look, then you look away, look away.
Here's
like,
the thing. I don't know where this guy's hanging out in New Zealand. I don't know how it is there, but here, man, women are hungry. So if we can like I don't even have to I sit at the bar stool and at the booth. I was at Gabriella's or whatever.
Yeah.
And
oh, okay. Well,
yeah, dude. And freaking Dave stood up and got out of the seat that I was sitting in, and the girls, all three of them, just sat right down, and it was like, "Hey, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Nothing." I'm like, "Why are you sitting here?" So they're a little aggressive here in New Jersey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends where he goes. Just my biggest thing is just be you, be comfortable in your skin, and don't act like you're trying to conquer something. Just talk to them like they're a person. Like they're just a natural human being, an actual person with a brain that you want to talk to and actually get to know.
No cheesiness, no weirdness. Just keep it real.
And listen, here's the thing: make them laugh.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah, make them laugh. Listen, women love to laugh. They like funny dudes, man. So if you get a chance, make them laugh. And tell them a good joke, something funny about whatever, and make them feel comfortable. And the best way to do that is again to treat them like a human being and like a person, and not like dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like your other one. Be interested. Talk about them. Oh, hey.
Talk about them, man.
Oh, I see you're drinking some. Is that what you normally? It's just, I think, to your point, normal, regular conversation where you're actually really interested in the person, I think just goes a long way.
Goes a huge way. And listen, if your thing is that you're trying to connect with a woman and you don't know what to talk about, this might sound a little creepy, I guess, maybe if I say this, but start finding things that women are interested in and do your homework. Like Louis Vuitton bags and stuff like stuff they're interested in, like fashion stuff, and so that way when you see them out and you see somebody you're interested in and you've learned a little bit about what women culture's like, you can relate to them on some level, right? You can be like, oh, that's an amazing pair of shoes, freaking, Louis, whatever they are, freaking,
Christian Louis Vuittons or whatever.
Yeah, whatever, freaking that one with the red sole.
Are those red bottoms?
Yeah, those red bottoms. Oh my god, I saw those on freaking blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
I did the same thing. What I would tell people is it's funny because the same thing in business. One of the biggest business tips that I give people, because I run leadership meetings and motivational speeches back in the day, and people would ask, the most people I've spoken in front of is 5,000.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
So, but one of the things I tell people is, oh my God, did I just almost draw a blank on this? Oh, one of the best, I was literally just going on. I was start talking about myself and I forgot. Someone once gave me this advice, and it's a little weird now because you don't have newspapers, but the guy told me he used to, for you people a little older, remember what the USA Today was. It was a newspaper that used to show up at your house and be in color. Yes. And if you used to travel a lot, it used to always be in a hotel. And the guy said, every morning get up and read it cover to cover. He said, read every single section, so that when a business person comes in, a girl comes in, you just have something to talk about. There's something that you become educated about in the world, which makes you a little bit more intelligent. So to your point, learning about what types of shoes are or what fashion statements are in only is going to help you eventually.
Right? So the more you know about your
people, a client.
Yeah.
Well, what's really dating's a sale.
Dating's a sale. You're selling yourself. You're absolutely right. Dating is
All right.
You gotta sell your. Anyway, next question.
So before we're about to take the clothes off and get it in, the last dating question today is...
Last dating question.
Elena from Athens, Greece. So shout out Greece.
Shout out to Athens, Greece.
Shout out. Should I be honest about my past relationships on the first date?
No.
That's an absolute.
Yeah, no. Listen, your first date, you shouldn't even be talking about your past at all with any kind of relationship stuff, because that person's already waiting for the red flag to show up. It's like, let me ask you questions. Like, listen, the only thing you should know about is where you're going, what your life is like now, and not to worry about, your past. Like, if you start talking about, I know a guy like this. I know a guy like this right now, who will literally talk about his ex to everybody. And it's like, stop, bro. Because like after, if you're doing it with somebody who you just met, and if you're talking about your ex to them, then it seems like you're still infatuated with your ex. And that person's not going to give you a chance because they don't want to hear about that. They want to talk about themselves, and just like you want to talk about yourselves. So you should be asking questions about, what do you do? What's your favorite thing to do? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite sport? What's your favorite color? Like just little simple things your first date, man. Just getting to know each other on a basic, simple level without bringing up drama.
Yeah. And what I would add to that is you should always be honest, but I don't think it's necessarily important on a first date. But the other point to what Chris is saying is, and this is what I think people struggle with when they talk about their past relationships. And this is a little part of growing up. This took me a very, very long time to realize. When you start looking back at your past relationships, when you're talking to other people, don't talk about how shitty they were. You know what? Just it's a change in really truly growing up to be an adult.
It brings the whole mood down.
Well, it's like, somebody will ask about an ex and you could say, yeah, well, they're crazy and they did this. And I get it. And over time, those stories come out. But a lot of times say, hey, you know what? I dated somebody. It really just didn't work out. We didn't really click together. I just learned a little bit about what I'm looking for. And I decided to look in a different direction. Is a more adult way of having that conversation when you're talking to somebody new about your past, or versus being like, oh, they were crazy. It's all their fault. And, I think when I'm looking at somebody and I'm talking to them and I want to try to get to know them, I don't want to hear about all the past because, first of all, me and Chris will be the first to tell you we are fuck ups in the past, but everybody should.
No, I agree.
Everybody should.
I was,
We should all make mistakes. How else are you going to be a better person unless you make mistakes? So your past is your past, and I was working at the bar. And an old guy came in, and I was crying because I broke up with a girlfriend, and I must have been like, I don't know, 20. And the guy must have been in his late 80s. I tell my friends all this story, but it really short. The guy says to me, he goes, what are you crying for? And I'm like, my girlfriend broke up with me, and I was devastated. Plus, by the way, I probably dated her for like 4 months. It was probably lust. But I was really sad. And I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, always remember this. Every single person you date, all of them, you will break up with, except one.
Wow. That's
and
harsh reality.
So he told me, he goes, so every time you break up with somebody, it's supposed to happen. It's okay to be sad, but it's not the end of the world. But just know you're going to break up with every single person you ever date except one. So at the end of the day, you're just not ready for that person yet. And I took that to heart, and I still think about that to this day. So shout out, you're not alive anymore, but I'm sure you're looking down from somebody.
Yeah, right on. Shout out to Pops.
Shout out to that Pops guy.
Shout out to Pops, man.
All right. You ready for some... by the way, any live question before we get into sex?
No, I think we're all right. So next.
Ethan, San Diego, U.S. We're back to the USA.
I used to live in San Diego.
All right. Yeah. Ethan wants to know, how do I bring up kinks and fantasies without making it awkward?
How do you bring up? It's a great question.
It's great. Also, by the way, not on the first date, depending on.
No, I don't know. You got to feel that out. You got to feel that out, man. It can definitely happen on the first date.
Depends on how long you've been doing the exchange back and forth where you meet the person.
It depends
right?
how many drinks you had too.
Oh, yeah.
There's San Diego. What's up, San Diego? So listen, that's a comfortability thing, right? So how comfortable you are with that person? I usually, I bring it up pretty early in the conversation.
You did? I dated a person who threw in anal just as like a in the middle of the conversation.
Oh, dude, I don't.
But it was one of those things like, I guess this is like a kink, right? So it was like, oh, so how do you like the food? Oh, the food's great. That's really awesome. Anyways, you ever have a finger in your ass? No, but anyways, and you're like,
God.
and you if you didn't pay attention for a minute, you missed it. It was right in the middle talking about food. It was like, oh, the
That's
pizza's great.
so
Come here
funny.
all the time. You ever have a finger in your ass? But anyways,
That's
and
awesome.
I remember
awesome.
I remember pausing for a second and just being like,
awesome.
I go, and that's what I said to her. I go, what you're really saying is you're into anal and you want to know if it's a thing for me. And she goes, how'd you know? I go, yeah, you just slid into the conversation.
Yeah. No, that's funny. That's funny. No, that's like how I had a girl once message me. And she goes, are you into pegging? And I was like, I don't know what pegging is. Is that a game? I was like, for you kid? I was like, I don't know what that is. And then she told me, and I was like, no. I was like, what in your right mind? You may have looked at me and was like, oh, Chris might be into that. Get the F out of here. Yeah, no, thank you. No.
And by the way, I don't even know if anal is considered a kink or a fantasy, right? And it's definitely low on the scale of stuff.
Let's get away from that word and just call it butt stuff because we're live on TikTok. So.
Rear bottom play
Yes.
stuff.
So,
but even though that's not really kink or fantasy, do you have any kinks or fantasies?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, geez,
the audience would love to know.
They would love to know
this.
if I have any kinks
They would love
or
to put this in all your fake profiles are going to pick this up.
Oh my God.
This is Christopher David. If you noticed on episode 2 last night.
Yeah, he's talking about his kinks and his freaking oh Jesus Christ. Do I have any? Yeah, I mean I'm pretty sure you can assume by the way I look what mine are. Like, I am what I am. I'm not I don't know. I've done most of the things I ever wanted to do. So let's just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had yes, I'm blushing. People are calling me out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm blushing. Yeah, it's a tough question to ask. No, I know, rated PG. Exactly. Let's keep it rated PG.
I mean, look, my son will probably watch this too. And
yeah.
And I don't want to talk
so
about
let's just say I'm a manly man that likes to dominate his area.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm like a child, so I love fantasies. I could live. I mean, I could have sex every day. So
it's a great pastime.
I mean, my brain runs wild. So I mean, I would just say is I don't. And being married is a little interesting because this is. I don't know. First of all, married to a person, I know nothing extreme. You know what I mean? Like you, but in the normal realm of what most people would find fun. I'm down. So I mean,
yeah, no, I'm in.
But anyways, Ethan, for you, look, I'll be honest with you. I think it's hard because if you have a kink, I mean, some people have some really crazy kinks, and if you let's just say you have a kink like bondage, and you really don't know if the other person's into it,
is okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Absolutely.
Hey, if that's your thing.
Yeah.
But I think at some point
dominant.
you probably learned how to drop little hints, drop suggestions. Hey, you ever been in a relationship? Hey, you ever been tied up before? And then their reaction.
Well, no, listen. I think especially when you hit a certain age, like I know when.
I like how you look direct. I like how you look directly at him and go, and you go, I know, because like you don't pick. You're not attracted to me like as a man because you want me to, be gentle with everything. It's just, you just don't. Because like, you know what I mean? Like you're already picking me because you like it rough, and you want to have fun. But would you? Yeah. But let's just say somebody had a kink. Well, it's weird. I think it's a little different too. I think if you're a guy, I think if a girl asked you, they could just come. I mean, I know this is kind of a gender-related statement, but I don't think many men have a problem with a female asking what the kink is. I think the other side. You think so?
Yeah, I think there's some men that, especially now, I think that's why a lot of younger women hit on guys our age, is because they have a lot of soft men, right? That are very masculine.
And now we're more comfortable at this age,
and we're more secure in our skin, right? So if a woman says, "Hey, I want you to,
do X, Y, Z,"
yeah, X, Y, and Z, then you're gonna be like, "All right, I'm in." You know what I mean? So I think there's a little difference there. I think sometimes as younger, you're just like, why would you want me to do that?
No, it's funny you say that because it is true. I look if you want me to do something to you and it's gonna make you happy, and then secretly in reverse, then I get something out of it too because I'm gonna ask. Yeah. Then we're in. So
yeah, equal is important.
But Ethan
can't just be one-sided.
But Ethan, if you're, depending how old you are, Ethan, but if you're into something real crazy, like, I mean, some nutty stuff we can't even mention here because everything will get shut down.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how you would ask. Maybe throw in a movie on accident. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's just, or do it like that girl did to him and just kind of throw in a conversation. She's like, I like long walks to the beach and flying in a plane and anal. What?
And then a taco. And then it was anal.
And then taco. Yeah.
No, but I'll be honest with you, Ethan, that's my advice to you. If it's really crazy, put a movie on one day where there's some weird scene that has your kink in it and see how she acts. And if she's like, oh, that's kind of cool, then I guess you can bring it up.
Somebody just wrote winner, double dinner. Eat on, my friend.
All right. So, all right. Valerie from Bogota. It was Bogota. It was Colombia for sure, but I never remember if it's
Wow,
Bogota.
we're hitting on a Latin place.
I took a lot of places from all over the place. So, why do women and men have different expectations when it comes to sex?
Ooh, because for men, it's more of a physical thing, and for women, it's more of a emotional connection thing. Like you can, women have to feel something, you know. It has to be an emotional thing for them. They have to actually be attracted, and you gotta do a little puzzle thing.
Puzzle.
You actually have to be attracted to that person on a emotional level, right? Now it doesn't mean that a woman can't use you. Don't get it mistaken. Freaking like women can use men just like men have used women and be emotionally disconnected, right? But I think that way it's and women, it takes a little more stimulation, right? Guys can usually blow their load and when the wind blows right, So for women it's a little more. It takes a little more work, a little more effort, right? A little more understanding of what they like. You can't just kind of just excuse the French, just ram it in there and just hope for the best. Freaking like woohoo! It's more than just a tip. You know what I mean? Like you gotta actually like put some effort into it.
Was it good for you?
Yeah, and freaking if you pay attention to what a woman's doing while you're doing it, then you can follow the motion. Because many times, even though you're being dominant, if you actually pay attention to a woman's body, she's actually leading the role. You're just kind of like making it better. Yeah, maybe some women want to answer that one. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean, look at this age, you know
Somebody
people.
wrote, it's a race.
It's a race.
If you're not first, you're last. I'm just saying.
No, but hey, look, I think at the end of the day, Valerie, I think it's difficult, but it's not. I think you have an understanding of the difference between men and women. But if you find the right person, I think you find a middle ground.
Look, I'm getting a lot of finally somebody gets it. Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's a slow dance. I agree. You know what I mean? You gotta figure out when to salsa and when to polka.
I like that's our clip for
right,
that's our intro.
You gotta figure out
Chris learns to polka.
Yeah, you gotta figure out when to salsa and when to polka.
All right, so Stefan from Munich, Germany wants to know: is it normal to feel less sexually attracted to my partner over time?
Yes,
absolutely.
That's so. We're creatures of experiences, right? So we like to spice things up. So to make your marriage last longer, to make your sex life more interesting, you actually have to put some work into that, and make sure that you spice it up a little bit, whether it be new outfits, new toys, new places, new experiences with whatever. If you can, whatever your imagination goes to, I support it if it makes your relationship stronger and better.
I think, I struggle with people, and I know this is a common held belief. I struggle with people with this Hollywood honeymoon phase stuff where it was really spicy for the first couple months and then it died off. I totally understand when you start really getting into life and bills and moving in and kids. There are things that do take it away. But what I would say to anybody is when you're in a real relationship for a long time, it should be work and it should be something you constantly are growing together and learning together because you do want to get to a point to what Chris is saying is, you want to continue to grow your relationship and try new things. And that's the point of being with someone for over time is that when things do get stale or you start to fall off, you should be strong enough in your relationship to say, hey, you know what? I don't think we've been spending enough time together. Maybe let's do a weekend. I think one of the things I saw as a married couple.
And on that point, that's what somebody says in here is when in a relationship, you should always be still dating. And that's the thing. That's the key, right? Like, you can just always be treating your partner like there's an opportunity they might choose somebody else.
I always, I go on date nights with my wife all the time, and I always lean over to her and I go, I'd still take you home. Yeah. I'd still hit on you.
I still choose you.
But, and if you get stuck, what I would tell you is there's a lot of cool help. I mean, look, therapy is a thing that couples go to, and I don't think anyone should look down on that. I think sometimes it's easier sometimes to have someone help talk through those things. But one of the things I find helpful is especially date nights. And I think you need to be diligent about putting your relationship first above anything else. So I think it was like every 2 weeks you go on a date night. Every 2 months you go a weekend away, and every 2 years you take a vacation.
Yeah.
And you just force yourself to stick to a pattern.
This woman here said this. She said the right thing. She goes, women can't let themselves go for men are visual, and men need to talk their women to prefer audio.
Look, my wife she could change body shape or not. She still puts it on me, so I'm fine
There you
with
go.
it. But
Right on.
I mean,
Let's do another one.
all right. Isabel from Stockholm, Sweden.
Ooh, I always want to go to Sweden.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
And this goes, how do I boost my confidence in the bedroom?
Ooh, how do you boost your confidence in the bedroom?
Get a better partner.
Yeah, they should be building your confidence for you.
Yeah, that's
Like they should make you feel like, like you're the best person they've ever been with.
your partner should make you feel like you're dating all the time. Like they can't take their hands off you. And if you're not with that kind of person, and I get it, confidence takes time, but your partner should be a person helping you build that confidence.
No, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, man.
Ooh, for you. Someone
For me?
asked. Yeah, here's one. Ricardo from Lisbon, Portugal. Between the two of you, can you guys tell us what is your biggest turnoffs during sex?
Faking it. Like if you're not into it, man, that kills it for me, right? Like I'm experienced, right? I've been around a little bit, and I know when somebody's in tune with me, and when their mind goes off somewhere else. You know what I mean?
It's
like
true.
We've
been around the block.
right? Yeah, I've been around the block a little bit, so when somebody's freaking like, and like what turns me on is when somebody's like completely, in that moment with me, and
being turned on turns you on.
yeah, them being turned on immensely is what fires me up. Like it makes my veins popping out. See, yeah, if we can make it, that fires me up.
You're blushing again.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think at this point, like sometimes to your point, like if you're in it, I don't know what else to say would be a turn off at this point for me, but a bigger turn on is when your partner's in it. Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta be fired up, just like I am fired up. You know what I mean?
Jesse from Edinburgh, Scotland.
Ooh, I always want to go to Scotland.
We're traveling the globe today.
Love it. Hey, thank you guys for all sending these questions in, by the way. I really do appreciate it.
By the way, we have over 300 just for the last few days. So if I didn't get to your question, I apologize. But in a good way, we're getting to more and more of these. And then hopefully as we do some of these TikTok lives, we'll answer some of them live for you as well.
Yeah, we'll answer them live sometime.
So Jesse from Edinburgh, Scotland. How do I talk my partner into trying something new in the bedroom?
Oh, you be honest with them. Tell them how much you like it. Here's the thing, right? So if you're trying to complete a fantasy with somebody that you're with, right, somebody you care about, they should want to do that for you. They should want to complete that fantasy, depending on what it is. If it's back to what I was saying before about the whole pegging thing, no. but depending what it is, right? Let's clarify that, right? So depending what it is, there should be a reasonable line, but you should want to, fulfill that fantasy for them, because in that way, God forbid things don't turn out well, or they do. When they ever think about, one of their most, the best experience they've ever had, or their most exciting experience, the ones that turn them on the most, they're going to think of you, and that's a great honor. Like, it's one of those things that, like, when I think about when I'm like 80 or 90 years old, and I'm sitting in my rocking chair, and I look back and I'm like, yeah, they were amazing. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, you should want to, fulfill that fantasy again, depending what it is.
And as a married person, I would tell you, book a hotel, because hotel sex allows these things to happen in your marriage. So go stay somewhere else, not in your home.
Yes,
and that to me
fulfills the fantasy.
Fulfills the fantasy, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, I could tell you guys.
And the best part is, you don't have to clean up.
No. And by the way, it looks like you put some thought into it. You booked a hotel, you do dinner, you made a thing out of it. What I find in a relationship is, do all that. Once you get out of the honeymoon phase where that person will do anything for you and that ends, go have hotel sex. You can get away with it there.
Yeah. You can do the whole, like, did I just meet you here? Who were you?
All that stuff.
Yeah, the whole stranger into the hotel thing. Yeah. And you got to feel safe with that person. Exactly. I agree with that. You got to feel safe with that person. You do. There's got to be a certain connection.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Last one in the sex. Connor from Chicago. Does size really matter, or is it all about the technique?
Yes.
It does.
And it does. It does. Size matters. If you can, and it is how you use it too. You can't just you got to have both. So size matters and technique matters.
Did you see the NBA star, the NFL star who came out and mentioned it the Super Bowl weekend?
No.
Ocho, you know who Ocho Cinco is, right?
No.
Ocho Cinco is one of the Hall of Fame wide receivers for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
He was a diva receiver. He was on the podcast with Stephen A. Smith, and he started talking about the fact that in the middle of having sex with his wife, she kept saying, "Go deeper," and he's like, "I have nothing left." No, he admits it. He admits it on the podcast.
That's awesome.
She says, "Go deeper."
I'm sorry. Wait. That is so funny for so many reasons right now.
Yeah, and he goes, "I have nothing left," and he went and had surgery and got extended, and the host Stephen A. Smith is looking at him in complete shock that he's even bringing it up on a live podcast. But he's like, whatever. He's like, I'm happily married.
Listen, I used to tell guys at the bar all the time when I would hear girls go, "Size doesn't matter. It's the motion of the ocean." I would tell the guy, I'm like, "She's lying to you, but don't be upset she's lying to you. Just be happy she cares enough about you to lie to you."
There is a point where the boat leaving the dock's got to be big enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I've heard women say, and then maybe they're telling the truth. I don't know. It could be wrong. Yeah.
All I know is, and this is so egotistical, but there is a point, as every guy does it, outside of pulling out a ruler when you're a kid.
Somebody just wrote girth matters.
Yeah, look, hey, that's a big one too. Soda can style. Look, you just know as a guy, you're never going to be the biggest. You don't want to be the smallest. But there's always a point in your life where you're like, what's it? Oh, I'm
Somebody
bigger.
wrote, "Go big or go home."
Yeah, and they're like, wait a sec. Oh, I'm way bigger than the average. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, size matters then, so we're good.
Yeah. You know.
I've had them over. I'm like, oh, I'm way bigger. Yeah, it's fine. So, and then, all right, so now you're in shape. You started dating.
Yeah, I'm blushing. This whole show I've been blushing.
You're dating. You realize that size matters and take it on the road. So now you're in a relationship. What do you do?
We're now in a relationship.
We're now in a relationship as we wrap it up. So it looks like everything's been going good. You got your kinks out. You're not nervous. You've got it. Everything's working. This is a tough one. We'll start this before we go to the tough one.
Right.
Samuel from Lima, Peru.
Ooh, hi, Samuel from Lima, Peru.
How do you keep the spark alive in a long-term relationship?
Oh, by what that lady said earlier. Treat it like a date. You know what I mean? Treat it like you're always dating her. Like, buy her flowers. Take her to dinner. Do spontaneous things. Like things that she wouldn't expect you to do. Right? Act like you haven't won her yet. Act like you're going to keep trying until, whether you're secure in it or not. It's the idea of losing somebody that drives us forward, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, act like you're dating her the whole time. Don't get boring.
And I'll say this because it's going to lead right into our next question.
All right.
You have to keep the spark alive. You cannot be one of these relationships where you don't have sex or you don't have date nights or you put your partner down or you're disgusted by them. Friends of a friend were married for 20-something years. They didn't have sex for, I think they had sex maybe a handful of times in the last 10 years. And then there was a cheating scandal in a relationship. And he had cheated on her. And one of the most honest things that she said was, I can't just blame him. Every time he wanted to be intimate or wanted to be close or wanted to do something for the last 10 years, I shut him down. So, this goes into the question from Hannah from Zurich, Switzerland. Is it possible to fully rebuild trust after cheating? What I would say is it's very difficult. It depends, to me, on what the circumstances of it is. First of all, I'm going to say, because I'm married, don't fucking cheat. No, hell no. But what I would say is, because a lot of people do go through these relationships where they don't have a spark and they don't keep the relationship alive and they don't put the work into it, it's not shocking when this happens. But if you both can come to the realization of it's worth saving, it's worth going through the work, then I don't think you should worry about any of the outside influences. My mother had to deal with this, and the mistake she made, and she would admit this, is she let too many people into the relationship when the divorce was going on, so that when she finally got back together and they fixed everything, nobody wanted to be friends with them as a couple, which made it harder. Mm-hmm. But if you decide, what I would tell you is, if you decide to rebuild your relationship after cheating, keep your world small and put the work in, and just make sure that you're both truly invested in it. But I mean, how do you feel about it?
So I've seen relationships where people actually had other people's kids when they cheated, and then the husband treated the kid like it was his own, and nobody knew, and if he came, well, they knew, but everybody else didn't know.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
okay,
Thinking
okay.
like she knew he knew she cheated. He knew she got pregnant by somebody else because he was fixed. And they still stayed together, and they were married for I think 46 years. You know what I mean? And they were happily married together. How he did it, I don't know. Because me, honestly, I couldn't. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you cheated on me and went and got pregnant by somebody else, good luck with that. Like I couldn't do that. But there's some men out there to do it, right? Like, I have a friend of mine now, freaking whose wife cheated on him, and he took her back, and they're happily together, and they're still madly in love. I guess it depends on the individual. Like, it depends on your connection with that person before it happened, and what led up to that happening, and whether or not you can honestly trust them again. That's a personal choice. So I can't say there's a wrong thing or a right thing. It comes down to a personal choice.
And what I would tell you is if you're friends with a couple going through it, don't disown them. Really support your friend in their decision. If they want to work it out, and no matter what your feelings are, and I know it's hard because you want to walk a fine line between being a friend, but also they're working through it. See,
I don't agree with that. See, right there where it says nope, once a cheater, always a cheater. See, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I think people make mistakes, and
I've cheated on somebody before.
Yeah,
so I'm not saying. I'm not cheating now,
right? Yeah. So again, that depends on the relationship. You know what I mean? And that's situational. It's not a life sentence.
Yeah, I just say support your friends, be there for them. Don't be the friend that abandons them if they choose to work something out. Like he was saying, you wouldn't understand it, but that doesn't mean that you should abandon your friend for the choice he makes. You just have to be there for them.
No, listen, I have friends of mine that took their wives back, or vice versa, took their husbands back, and I support it. That's their choice, it's their life, right? So who am I to judge who they are and what they're doing? My only job as their friend is to support them in whatever choice they make. And if they ask my opinion, then I give it. If they don't want my opinion, then it's none of my business to give it to them. I'm not their mom. I'm not their dad. I'm definitely not their judge and executioner. So my job as a friend is to be here, and support whatever you make as a decision.
Should Venezuela? So we have a few more before we wrap up. Venezuela. Paulo from Caracas, Venezuela. Do you believe that couples that are married should have separate bank accounts, or is it better to share everything?
Oh, separate bank accounts.
I share everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no. I can't. Separate bank accounts, man.
First of all, because it's probably our second time going through it, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Because the first one, you learn. But here's what I would tell you. It takes a lot of trust, but I would tell you that our relationship is exponentially better because we don't have to go to the supermarket and figure out who's paying for the meal. We don't have to worry about who's turned to chip in for something. And I get it. People can have a joint and then have separate.
Yes.
I'm gonna be with her. I'm gonna be with her forever. Our stuff is all together, and that's part of the reason why we trust each other so much, because our whole lives are tied together. And in a million years, I would never do anything to change that. But it really, truly. I mean, it took a couple of years, but. I mean, we're invested in each other's future, so we're probably a little weird compared to our friends. I think most of our friends have separate bank accounts.
Yeah, I think just because I think it's the way the culture is right now, right? Like, there's very vindictive people out there.
Well, people are quick to pull out. People are quick to sue.
Quicker people to act on emotion and do things to hurt the other person. And I've seen bank accounts emptied.
Yeah. Well, I would say this to your point. We have been through. Not like relationship stuff between us, but we have been through whether it's medical stuff or job loss stuff. We've been through some shit. So, like to your point, if you've been through some shit with your partner and you realize that they ain't going anywhere, then it's different, right? It's not.
Let's take a poll on that. So let's take a poll. We're going to ask everybody right now live on TikTok, the whole 160 people watching, I think it is, and everybody in yours, if we can, and anybody that watches the show, let's do a little poll where you can write in. And let's see how many people actually think we should have separate bank accounts.
Oh, it's going to be everybody but me.
Yeah.
It's everybody but me.
Everybody's like, everybody's separate bank accounts.
People are going to be listening to this podcast, texting my wife, you guys have everything together? What, are you crazy?
Kelly Hoke. Hello from Boyertown, PA. I used to live in Gilbertsville.
There you go.
How you doing?
All right. Here we go. Should I be worried if my partner has close friendships with the opposite sex? Andres from Santiago, Chile.
Is it a girl? I'm assuming it's a girl. He's asking about a girl.
No, it's Andres.
I know, but is Andres asking about if it's okay for his girlfriend or his boyfriend?
I guess it's got to be his girl. Well, it could be either. Don't worry.
It could be either, right?
Doesn't matter.
So is it okay for them to have close relationships with opposite sex? Yes.
Yeah.
If you trust them, right? Yeah. You have to trust them. Like, here's the thing. Like, here's I used to say this all the time. Like, if somebody's going to cheat, they're going to cheat. So worrying about whether or not they're cheating on you or not is such a waste of your time, right? So if they come home every day, if they go to work every day, they do the same things every day, they treat you well, buy you flowers, take you out to dinner, treat you good, then stop worrying about what the hell they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, live your life and be the best version of you can be. I've been in those situations, man. I've been in those situations where I was constantly questioning what she was doing, where she was going, who's calling her phone, who's texting her phone. And it drove me insane, and it pushed me back further in my life. It made me stop growing as a person, and made me feel really insecure and really jealous and stuff. And it's something I still fight today. Like, I still fight it. There was times when I was in a relationship where I wouldn't. I was like, who the hell is fucking texting her right now? And I wanted to look, but I realized that's not my business, man. It's not. Like, if I really care about her and I really love her, then I'm gonna trust the fact until she fucks up that she's not doing something. Because I can't stop her if she was. Like, unless I'm attached to your hip 24/7,
There's nothing
you can do, right? So, like, why am I going to stress about something I have no control over? All I can hope is that I be the best version of me that I can be, and that she will see the value in me and choose wisely. If we can. So my advice to you is, don't sweat it. Do your thing. Be secure in who you are as a person, and if she fucks up, then you kick her to the curb. If she or he. And if she doesn't, then you saved yourself from worrying and being anxiety about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, just freaking worry about you. The more you work on you and being the best version of you that you can be, being strong physically, mentally, financially, and emotionally, the more that person's gonna be attracted to you. Bottom line, they might see somebody else as they might think they're good looking or whatever, but the more you focus on growing as a man, as a person. Whether you're significant as other female or male, they're going to see the value in you. So just make sure you're valued. That's my advice.
Yeah, I think the only thing I completely agree. I think now in this time in my relationship, because I've been with my wife for so long, the only thing I ever think to myself is, am I the best version of myself? And if somebody wanted to leave me because for any reason or cheat on me, I just have to be comfortable that I'm a good person. I try really hard. I work every day. I show up. I'm a great dad. And if that somebody didn't appreciate me for that, then ultimately, whether you cheated on me or didn't, you don't deserve me.
Yeah,
So,
If you can, if you didn't see the best version of me while I'm growing, then you missed out. Because watch my dust, man. Because I'm going to keep growing as a person. I'm not going to sit back and falter, for anybody. So and again, the more secure you are in yourself. The more secure you are in who you are mentally and physically and emotionally, the more attractive you are. So know your worth, know your value. Don't worry about freaking what the hell they're doing, because if they fuck up, you'll find out.
Is that chart? You want to fuck up and find out.
You'll fuck up and find out. You'll find out. Eventually, it'll all come around. You'll find out anyway.
Everything. This is the only thing about this time, and I say it to the kids all the time. Everything's recorded.
Yep.
Everything is out in the world. Believe me when I tell you, if you mess up, first of all, if you cheat or mess up, it won't be the only time you do it, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get caught. You're going to trip up. So eventually, it's just, at the end of the day, this is the best thing this is honestly the best thing I ever learned. I think I told you this when we were talking one day off air. Right before I dated my wife was the first time in my all 36 years of my life that I actually ended a relationship as an adult and just called the person and said, it's not working out. I'm just not attracted to you. I don't have the spark. And before this continues too long and I cheat on you or something bad happens, I respect you too much as a person. I just think the relationship should end. Yeah. And that was the best learning lesson for me. It was like, oh, wow, this is the way it should be. You shouldn't drag things on too long. And then it was good. It sprung me into the relationship I am. It made me a better person now. So, but outside that, hey, it's been an hour already. We got anything else for these people before we wrap it up for the crew? It's over. Been an hour already.
It's been over. Oh wow, we're done.
Any last TikTok people from you? Any sayonara question we can answer before we head out?
Let's see here. Any last questions you guys got here on TikTok? Anything you want to ask? Let's see. My girlfriend found out about her husband being tagged in a photo. Yeah, freaking gotta love social media, man.
That's it. It's all
awesome topics, right? So listen, here's what we're gonna do. So if you guys want to send us more questions, Am I going to the Philadelphia parade? No, I'm not going. You crazy? You see those people in Philly? you see that stuff? No, I'll watch this stuff on the news, man.
No.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Wait, here's a fitness question. Hold on. Shh. Infrared saunas. Have you tried them for your workouts? Yes, they're amazing. Yeah, they're good. Where are all the good men at? They're sitting right here.
There's two.
There's two right here. That's Tony Rodriguez. Good man. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, so listen, what you want to do is send in more questions. Where do they send it to, Tony?
Questions go to questions@adviceunfiltered.com.
Yeah, there you go. One more time. Just say it one more time.
So I can't even pretend to go as low as you.
Yeah, low.
Questions@adviceunfiltered.com.
Questions@adviceunfiltered.com.
Well, we just want to thank you guys, as always, joining us live, submitting questions.
Somebody said they tried to find it in Google, but they couldn't find it.
In Google?
Yeah, they tried to Google it and they couldn't find it.
It's an email address.
It's an email address. That's why.
You just just send us an email from your email.
Somebody wrote Chris After Dark.
Chris After Dark.
After Dark.
After this podcast, Chris After Dark.
Yeah, Chris After Dark.
We dim the lights. Little fire goes on. Get a bourbon.
I just didn't pay the bill and the lights just go out. So that's what happens.
You get creative. But we're going to have the episodes. We're editing them tomorrow morning. So we're going to start. You're going to see them live. We'll make sure that we put links out. You're going to be able to find them on YouTube, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yes.
So you'll be able to see us with the cool backdrop and, not the green screen, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to listen on the drive. And what I would say before Chris signs us out is, as always, I appreciate the community we're building. I appreciate there's a lot of people that want to be part and ask us questions.
Yes.
And the only thing that's going to make this successful for me and Chris is really to connect with people. And I think that's what we're both looking for out of this. So I just want to say to all of you, we really appreciate you and we love the support.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%, man. Everybody's been watching. Everybody's been tuning in. I just want to say thank you. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty cool because it's all around the world, I think we had 6,000 viewers last week for our first live on doing our podcast, which is just amazing, and I want to thank everybody for that. And again, when this is all up on the channels, Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff, we will let you know as soon as possible. And again, thank you guys. I really do appreciate all the views and all the likes and everything else, and for sharing. Yeah, definitely. Signing out, man, from Tony Rodriguez, and my name is Christopher David. This is Advice Unfiltered.